per day that is normally worth $997 free of charge. If you want to get access to that such that it will help you grow your business, then you want to make sure to sign up for this right now. I'm going to put the link in the description. And I want to say a big welcome to the incredible Smile community inside the Smile group, to the incredible crowd on YouTube. Do let me know where you're tuning in from. And I'm super excited to be here with you guys. And I'm just going to make sure that everything is working properly. Oh, wow. I hear myself from a different live stream. But I just want to make sure that it's all working properly. So let me know where you are tuning in from. Let me know if you're excited. And if you have managed to secure your space, comment below and say, I'm in. All right. Who do we have in the house today? I'm just doing my checks to make sure it is all working properly. And I see some eager beavers in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Tuning in from the UK. Lovely. Let me just actually see. Yes, we got Gail in the house, tuning in from the UK. We got Tom in the house. Got a bunch of people in the house which I cannot see just yet. But I just want to say I'm super excited to be here with you all. Liverpool, yes, nice. Liverpool was actually the first. Was it the first city I visited in the UK? I think it was. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to be here with you guys. And some of you might be wondering, what is this all about? And I want to explain what this is about and why you will want to be part of this. So let me ask you a question, because this is going to be interactive, even if some of you will be tuning into this after the fact. So after like watching the replay, I want to ask you guys this question. How many of you watching this are currently in business? If you are, then comment below and say in business. I would really, really, really like to know, because the aim of this game is I want to help as many people ever possible in growing their income this year. And this is because last year we've been able to do a fantastic job in helping a lot of people breaking through more barriers than I could have hoped for. And when I say barriers, I mean financial barriers, mindset barriers, spiritually, like life experiential. And I want to give so much credit to my dad, my whole family, to our FLC core family, who have been so unbelievably powerful in facilitate this transformation for hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands of people all around the world in the different trainings that we facilitate. But this year we were like, hey, we're going to take this to a whole nother level. And so my first question is, are you in business? Awesome. I see some people in here in business. Okay. Second question that I have is, who is not in business at the moment, but is open to starting a business? So comment below, open. If you're open to the idea of starting your business, maybe you are someone who is currently in a job and you do not like the job so much. Or maybe you do like the job, but it's not paying you as much as you know you deserve to be paid. And this is a serious issue. And I speak about this a lot because this is a big passion of mine. I see so many people who work extremely hard, but are not being rewarded. And I actually want to ask you this question. Have you ever been in that situation? Maybe you're in it now. Let me know in the comments. Because again, this Smile group that we have here, and my YouTube channel, all my social channels, but specifically the Smile group. By the way, if you're on YouTube, make sure to go and join our Smile group, because the trainings that I run there are way incredible, more incredibler than anywhere on my other social channels. It goes way deeper. But have you ever been in the situation, or are you currently in a situation whereby you are in one way or another not being appreciated for the hard work that you do? You're not seeing the financial results. Are you the type of person who currently is experiencing lack of clarity on how to make a difference in your life? Have you ever had that feeling that you know you're destined for more? You can feel it in your heart. You can feel it whenever you do something and somehow you're in flow. You feel like, man, all of a sudden this energy is coming in, and like, man, I want to do stuff. But in some moments you're not in flow. You're not feeling like things are working for you. And the second case happens more often than not. And it has an effect on all areas of your life. But more so is, where do we spend the most of our time? Most of the time it is in our jobs. It is in our occupation. because obviously we live in a materialistic world and we need money to basically put food on the table, to pay for our bills, to be able to look after our loved ones. Now, one thing that I really, really, really want to make clear, and I know all our amazing FLC students can vouch for this. By the way, if you're an FLCer, comment below and say hashtag FLC, because one of the things that every single day gets more and more and more reaffirmed in my mind and in the minds of the people that we work with is that everything is possible. I want you to comment below and say everything is possible. And when I say that, I mean everything in every area of life, but specifically what I focus on and what we love to do with our family, our FLC core family, is to help people make more money, to help people become financially free, to help people to break free from the actually non-existing limits that are somehow holding you back. This weird ceiling that you think there is when it comes to your income, when it comes to your abundance, when it comes to your possibilities, which actually isn't there. It's just there in your thoughts. But because you think it, it becomes your reality. How many of you know what I'm talking about when I say this? So what I'm basically trying to describe is a number of different problems that we see different people face. So people who are not in business right now, but they're stuck in a job, not enjoying what they're doing and not seeing the rewards financially from it, and they want to find another way. Or those of you who said you are in business, let me ask you this question. Are you currently in business where it is an overflow of clients, so many more clients that you can't even handle it? Is that the case? Or is it the opposite? That you know you got value, but you're really waiting for the next client, the next customer to come in. Maybe you're waiting for your first customer and you're like, man, was business actually the right thing for me? I would love to help more people. I love what I do. Maybe some of you are coaches. Let me know if you're a coach in the comments. And if you're not a coach, let me know what kind of business you do have. Because I titled this one specifically for coaches, but actually what we train people on is applicable to any industry. But it is that coaching and knowledge industry just allows you to do it in a way where it is so low cost and so unbelievably passive and profitable. So let me know in the comments. But what we see most people face is that they have a phenomenal craft that they love to do when it comes to business, right? They have something they know they can bring value to the table, but it's just so darn hard to find the right people, or even harder to find the right people that are willing to pay you the money that you know you deserve. How many of you have ever witnessed that? Let me know in the comments. How many of you have ever had that you try to close a deal, but it just didn't come through because the person didn't have the money? You're like, man, why does nobody have the money these days? But let me tell you one thing, and I want you to comment this below. This doesn't matter which area of expertise you are in, whether you're in a job and wanting to start a business, or whether you are in business already, but you're struggling, or you know that there's another level. Maybe you had a good year last year, but you know there's another level. Whichever is the case for you, I want you to write this down and say, there's money everywhere. I want you to comment that below. There is money everywhere. And for those of you who know us a little bit more personal, know that recently we started working with Grant Cardone and their incredible team and really taking things into our business, with which we have already made over 7 figures, is the Tucoma Club Award. But we're also like, hey, we know we've done great things, but there's another level. We want to take it to yet another level. And so we started working with people who are operating on yet another level. And so one of the things that they say, and this is very, very powerful, I want you guys to really write this down for yourself, is that if ever you doubt whether there's enough money to go around, if ever you have something and you want to do it, like you want to go into business, or you are in business but you're struggling to get paying clients, that you think, oh, maybe people are just struggling, maybe we just don't have enough money, then what they say is just look outside of the window, look into your neighborhood, look into your area, and just count the number of cars, count the number of tires, count the number of people that you see wearing clothes. This is all money. This is all wealth. Everybody has money, and everybody spends their money as long as they have, according to their minds, the right thing. This is what I want you guys to realize. Comment below if you have had an aha moment right now already from what I've shared so far. If you have, then comment below and say the word aha. So, what we have to realize, and this is seriously something, if you are a person who's serious about your life and are really eager to allow this year, we have around 11 more months in this year, that you are very eager to go and make a difference this year, that you're very certain that you're going to break free this year, that you're not going to have things being the same way. Now, if that is you, you have to get this clicked in your mind and stay here until the end. Because sometimes I have it that people say, oh, I've already heard this. Let me say it. It's not about what you've heard before. It's about what you're actively implementing. It is about what you are living. It's about what you can see in your bank account, specifically in this topic. If you've heard something before, but you're still struggling to make money, then there's something to learn there. And I don't know it all, but I do know a thing or two that I can help you with. And that is why I'm running this training. That's why I'm running this challenge. That is why I was like, hey, let's do this. And actually, I wasn't thinking of doing it as soon as I'm doing it. I want you guys to write down these dates. It's going to happen the 21st of February till the 27th of February. It's going to be 7 days, 1.5 hours each day. And for those of you, and I make funny sounds with my hands in case you're thinking that I was farting, I wasn't. But in case you've been to the challenge before, those of you who've been to many of the challenges, comment below and say it's never ever the same. And you may wonder, why is it never ever the same? Because you grow, so you think and hear things in a different way. I grow, so I constantly update my content. You have to understand this. So if you're serious, eager, and excited about what you can do this year, let's actually make it simpler. What you can do in this next month to actually change your financial situation around, then comment below and say, I'm serious. I really want to see who's serious in here, because it's very important to realize that if you are serious, you gotta move, you gotta make a step. But let's get back to the point. And and by the way, for those of you who are just tuning in, there's a link in the description, a link in the bio. When you watch this on replay, it will be in the description. If you watch this live, then it's going to be in the bio. Let me just actually paste it in here as well. If you watch this live, it's going to be in the comments. Click on the link, register. If you have been here before, or if you haven't been here before, register. If you, by the way, can think of someone who needs to be here, tag them in the comments. Share this post. I'm serious as well. And I'm serious about numbers. Like everybody who's part of our FLC core family or who is part of our FLC family will know this, because I've been saying this. We want to help unbelievably more people this year. This is not even good English, but we want to help 10 times or 100 times more people this year. So that is why we're dedicating a lot of our time. And actually the reason why I said, hey, let's do it actually in February, because I wasn't thinking of running another challenge so soon, is because I had made a post in this group. And that post was made back in December, I believe, or in November even. And that post, I asked if I was to run a training that is actually worth £1,000, if I was to run it for free, would you want to join? Would you want to attend? And even up to yesterday, people were still replying to that post. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. But that was actually an old post. But people were still replying to it. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. Let me run it sooner. And again, I know what most people's minds will do. Be thinking like, oh, yeah, it's just another challenge. And I've been to that before. Let me tell you one thing. And this is very important to realize. In one day, so much can change. If you ask any of our FLC core family, the way how we change in our business every single day is tremendous. And so the different things that we have been doing and the different things that we've put in our content to help people is unbelievable. And I know for a fact, those of you listening to this right now, whether the now is live or the now will be the replay, if you attend those 7 days and you're going to be there all the days, your life will not be the same. I can promise you that. So my question to you before we continue is, if you have clicked on the link, registered your space, then comment below and say, I'm in. Okay? Comment below and say, I'm in. Okay, make sure to register your space. We're gonna have limited spaces on this one. So comment below and say, I'm in if you're in. Now, what I was saying before, right, is about our perception of money. Because I was asking you guys just before, how many of you are in business? How many of you are in a situation where you are not happy with your occupation and it's not making enough money? And specifically now talking about business, right? There is this limiting belief that we all have if we haven't been in contact with wealth. Because let me ask you here, how many of you have ever turned over a million? If you have, then comment below and say seven figures. If you have done that, you have turned over a million. If you haven't, then that thought might seem like, man, that's cool. I can't wait. I would want to do that. And I'm here to tell you that you will when you say you will, and you believe it with all your heart. Because I remember when I was going through my university and I was going into my PhD, and I was actually already 3 years into my PhD, then the final year I was in, I was thinking about that too. I was thinking about making a million. And I said it to myself, but it sounded surreal. It's like, man, could I even do it? But there was one moment where it clicked for me. And those of you who've heard my stories remember probably, or maybe not remember, that's why I'm saying it again, that when the moment that I decided that I was going to invest in myself, both money, time, effort, and I first took that step to learn from my mentor in business, I wrote down on a piece of paper and I said, and I was 100% convinced that I was going to make a million. And I said that I was going to do it within a year. It didn't turn out to be a year. It was 18 months before it happened with our company at the time. But it was because I believed it first. And so the big problem that a lot of people have, and a big mistake that a lot of people make, is that they shop around. They go to different free trainings and go listen here, go listen there. They look for the next big thing, but they don't necessarily really believe. So you listen to a lot of different ways to make money. And by the way, you can make money a lot of different ways. Some people make money doing this. Some people make money doing that. I make money doing another thing. There's a lot of different ways, and there's no one better than another. It's just what's your personal preference, what suits your style, what aligns with you. But the problem is that because so many people in this world that weren't born in riches financially are so unfamiliar with the idea of having wealth or having that amount of turnover, that you think, oh, I want to get there. I want to get there quick. But which is my way? Which is my way? So you see this thing, you're like, oh, maybe that's my thing. So you go for that. Then there's this thing. Oh, and that's very shiny. So you go for that thing. And then, like, how many of you know what I'm talking about? How many of you have fell victim to that? Let me know in the chat box if you have. You're like, oh man, I don't know which way I'm going to do it, but you go do all these different things, and actually, because of that, your focus is scattered. And you're not really committing to one thing. And that is lethal. Because what you then basically instill in yourself, you try a little bit of this, you try a little bit of that. But because you only ever get to this stage of trying and not real commitment, you run in some shoes for a little while, and then you switch shoes, and you have the feeling like you didn't succeed. Or in other words, you feel maybe that you have failed, which, by the way, is an illusion, but you feel like you failed. And then you go to the next thing, carrying that feeling of failure, trying it, but being a bit more hesitant because the other thing didn't work either. And then like that. And you just still don't get the results. And then you try the next thing, you're like, still carrying more of that feeling, that feeling of I'm a failure, just piles up. How many of you know what I'm talking about? And then you try a whole bunch of things and still none of them have worked. And you're like, man, maybe business is just not for me. Maybe it's just not in my path. Maybe it's not in my stars, whatever you may think. But have you ever considered that perhaps you've never really given yourself the chance to excel at it just because you're always the one taking yourself out of the game? I have been guilty of this too. And I am still guilty of this in certain aspects of my life. That's why you always want to improve yourself. No matter which area of your life you have that you grow, you have that you learn, you have that you make mistakes. That's why it's so important to always keep on learning. Never ever let that ego get into your mind where you're like, oh man, I know it all. No, tell me more. I want to learn more. You know, Tai Lopez has this very powerful saying, and I want you guys to write this down. Tai Lopez says, if you enter a room and you're constantly speaking, in other words, if you have that ego, you think I know it all, and you're the one speaking, you leave the room with the same amount of knowledge. But if you enter a room and you listen more, you leave the room being smarter. And this is extremely powerful because we can learn from everyone. But that wasn't my point. My point is that everything in life, and specifically making money in this example, hey dad, mwah, love you. Specifically making money in this case, it requires commitment. It requires you to double down. It requires you to say, okay, I know this works because these people got results. I know this works because these methods make sense. Now, what's the only thing that is missing for it to work for me? I need to work. I need to just commit. I want you guys to comment below and say the word commit. Or better yet, say, I commit. Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm wearing a t-shirt that my grandma made of me and my dad. So this is, it says basically then and now. So this is then when I was little. And this is, well, this is not so much now. This is in 2015 when we went to Hawaii. And my grandma made that. I basically made this photo and then she printed it on the t-shirt. And I wear it proudly. But say this, I commit. You want to commit 100%. Have you ever tried it? That you, like, it's a funny example, but that you are like, you see the love of your life. And then you think, yeah, this is the person I want to be with. And you walk up to that person. You're like, okay, you show me love first, and then I'm going to show you some. No, you need to show me first. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. What will that person think, right? The person be like, well, you're crazy. I'm going to go away. And this is like obviously a very silly example because of course it doesn't work like that. But if that makes so much sense, it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing in anything. And the reason why this is so lethal is because not only if you don't commit to something, will you not directly see the results, as a byproduct of it, you also start to believe that maybe it isn't for you. Somehow you start to believe that you're not a successful person, that you are not good enough. And that's absolutely not true. You are good enough. As a matter of fact, comment below and say, I am good enough. Comment below and say, I am special. I am amazing. I'm abundant. I am powerful. I'm successful. You are. But can you blame yourself for not getting the results if you only dip in your toe? No, you can't. You haven't been in the game too long or long enough. So this is the thing. And it's very easy in a day, like in a time and age that we are in today, that we're like, oh, there's so many different things and we want to get there quick, right? Get rich quick. But the truth is that nothing is a get rich quick thing. Nothing in life will get you results just quick. Doesn't mean that you cannot have quick successes, but it requires commitment and dedication, effort, love, passion. With anything in life, it's like that. And so specifically with what we're training people on, which is in making money, allowing you to become financially free, it's important to realize that you do need to give yourself that ability or that chance to actually do it. Now, how many of you here listening to this, live or on replay, are ready to give yourself the space to excel? Comment below and say, I give myself the space to excel. And I give myself the space to grow. I give myself the space to learn. And this is why society also is so messed up with when it comes to people failing and people believing that the word failure exists. Because failing, if you really think about it, is just learning. You're learning how to do something. You're learning how something goes or not goes. Like for those of you who know that when it comes to the learning that I receive and when I'm working with the Cardone team on a daily basis and we're getting these opportunities to practice new scripts and new techniques and stuff like that, I always raise my hand. But maybe there's like one or two times that I didn't force myself to raise my hand and to try it, right? But when I do try it, it goes wrong and I make a mistake, and this is not right, and that is not right. There's only one time, or one or two times so far, that I was doing it in a way where they say, "Hey, A plus, that was awesome." Most of the time, I get a flunk, meaning fail. But that's not a fail. Those are the moments that I learn the most. I'm like, man, I want to fail again. Bring on some more failure. These are the moments that you learn. It's incredibly powerful. The moment that you do something and it goes wrong is actually when you correct and learn the most. I want you guys to write that down for yourself. The moment that you do something wrong, when the pain is the biggest, is when we actually learn our biggest lessons. So I'm like, bring it on, bring on the failure. That is learning. But we as people need to condition or discipline ourselves to move through those failures, to just keep on going. It's fine. And the same, actually, we already know naturally, because what do we do as a baby? When we come out of the womb and we're in this land, in this world, can we walk? No, we can't. So what do? We try to walk. Well, maybe not directly. First we start to roll around or whatever, and then we crawl, and then we maybe stand up, and then boom, falling, boom, falling, boom, falling. Have you ever seen a baby that said, well, I'm tired of trying. I'm just gonna remain seated for the rest of my life? Probably not, unless there's a certain condition or something is happening physically. But other than that, what do babies do? They keep on going. What did you do? Just look at your own life. You're standing, right? Or other examples. You know how it's done. But then why is it so that when it comes to wealth, we're not educated in that manner? I want you to seriously think about this. I'm not here to say, oh, it's like this or it's like that, but I find it seriously interesting why there is so much effort and emphasis on getting us to doubt in ourselves, getting us to think negatively. Just think about it. If you know what I'm talking about, then comment below. I understand what you mean. If you look at what we are being educated in school, why do we have a system that is based on failing? Obviously, we need to learn things. But why is it so ingrained in us for years that it's based on failing? And if you fail, you can't get to another level. Wouldn't there be another possibility to encourage the successes? Now, I'm no expert in schooling system, but I feel from the companies that I've ran and the people that I've trained that might be a bit more efficient. And why is there so much negativity on the television? This is being chosen to be broadcasted. Why is there so much negativity on the social media? Just think about it. But once you think about it, also then think, is your own perception of life and wealth creation then correct? Because if we are, for the longest duration, being imprinted that it is failures, that it is very difficult to make money, I'm not saying that there is someone who benefits from it, but just say for the example of it, would it benefit some people at the cost of some other people? Possibly. And if it is benefiting some people at the cost of other people, would the people that it benefits want to benefit more at the cost of other people benefiting less? Possibly. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, if you understand and now break free from the thought that wealth creation is difficult, is something that maybe isn't for you because you failed before, if you now understand that that's a whole lie, a scheme, is something that somewhere is not entirely watertight, then open up your thoughts to the possibility of you making a difference to yourself, your life, your bank account, your family, your community today. Do that now. If any one of you here have an aha moment right now, then comment below and say aha. Because I can share strategies, but this thing that I'm sharing today actually is far more important than the strategy. Because if you go into a strategy with that limiting belief, thinking that, oh, it's only for a few people and I've tried so many things before, and then the strategy is not going to sink in. Or it is going to sink in. You're like, man, that makes sense, but you're never actually doing it because you're afraid. And can you blame yourself being afraid? No, of course not. If 24/7 you're being imprinted that, rich is only for the lucky few and that you're a failure, of course you're going to think that. So who here now at this point in the video is ready to create wealth? If you are, comment below and say, I am ready for wealth. I am ready for wealth. But what you got to understand, I'm not saying that creating wealth is just clicking on a button and then hoping that poof, money falls on your head. That's not how it is either. Neither is that in your job. Neither is that in your school. Neither is it with anything in life. With your love relationship, with the relationship with your children, with your parents, with your friends. Everything takes nurturing. So also wealth creation takes nurturing, takes time. But what I have definitely seen, having been someone who was employed in a workplace and having been someone who's leading a company. Running a company, leading a company, wealth creation is far easier than doing it in a job. As long as you know what you're doing and as long as you believe and continue to believe. Don't let yourself be talked out of the game by people that are thinking that you will not be able to do it, or by people trying to convince you to do something else, even though you feel that your calling is here. And this is something very important to realize. And the beauty of it is that there are so many ways to create wealth. There are so many business models, so many different industries. Everything works. That's the beauty. Everything works. But nothing works for the distracted mind. So you got to focus. Choose something and focus. And it's difficult because everything is so fun. Choose one thing and focus. And once that thing is strong, then go create another thing. And sometimes you have it that things are more interconnected and therefore they're easier to combine. But yet, if you focus on one thing, it's always easiest. So that being said, I really, really, really want everyone in here right now who's listening live or who will be listening to the replay, watching the replay, to open up your mind, your heart, and your commitment to yourself. Comment below and say it once again. I commit to my success. I commit to my success with a happy heart. Because this is a very important thing to realize as well. It's not like when you create wealth that only then you're going to be happy. No, you're happy now. You're already happy now. But it doesn't mean that with more money, you couldn't do more good. As a matter of fact, you can do more good. As a matter of fact, let me ask you this. How many of you think that if you, at this moment, did not have to worry about bills, did not have to worry about your expenses for money, for food, looking after your family, if you did not have to hesitate how to be able to look after family members monetarily when they need it, how many of you think that you would have more peace of mind? Comment below yes if that is you. That if you did not have to worry about all of these things, which by the way also are distractions, how many of you think you had more peace of mind? Comment below and say yes. If you think that that would allow you to have more peace of mind, do you think therefore you have less stress? Let me know. Comment below and say yes. Do you think that if you therefore have less stress, you'll be a little bit more fit, more energetic, more excited? Comment below and say yes. And if you think that therefore you will be more creative and more confident and eager to undertake things, comment below and say yes. And that is why money and acquiring money and building wealth isn't a bad thing. I want everybody to understand that. A lot of the time, people think and have been conditioned in one way or another that somehow money or the want for chasing money is a bad thing because bad rich people are greedy, or you only care about money. I care about other things. No, I'm not. I don't love my money. I love my family. I love our community. I love my plants. I love the good things. But I also love to be able to have that peace of mind to look after those that I love and more in the world. It is because I don't have a job that I have to attend to that I can spend so much time with people on my social channels, that I can have so much more time to write books, to create programs, to help people one-on-one, to help people in group mentorship. And some may argue, well, that is your job. Yeah, it is my job, but it's also my passion. It is also something that I love to do because I changed lives, not just me, us with our whole FLC core family. And so what I'm basically here sharing is that, yes, you are happy now, you are grateful now, but it isn't a wrong thing to want to create that wealth so that you can amplify that feeling and that you can create a consistent peace of mind, consistent and better all-around health, so that you can live life what life is meant living for, not to just slave your time away, being stressed all the time and having your relationships suffer from it, but to actually enjoy life, help people, do things that you're passionate about, make a difference in this world. And every day go to bed with a feeling of fulfillment. And you wake up with a feeling of excitement. The fact that that is not the case for most people is very worrying. We've become accustomed to it. We wake up and like, oh man, can't be bothered to wake up. Can't be bothered to go to that place again. It's not a good thing because it happens every day. Most of our time is spent in our occupation. So change it. That's what I'm here saying. Change it. And if you let me, I will help you to change it. That is why I'm doing this 997 training for you guys for free. That is why I've put the link into the comments, freedomlifestylechallenge.com. Register for it. I'm saying this because I know your life will be different afterwards. It is 7 days, 1.5 hours per day for free. The only thing I'm asking of you is to show up. But I also already know that most people start something and they don't finish it. Most people get excited, but they don't show up. That I cannot change. But what I can do is play my part, knowing what I know now and knowing that tomorrow I know more than I know now, because every day I'm growing, every day I'm investing in myself. And I want to share all of that with you guys. Why? Because our mission is to help people, to help families, to make you strong against all that negativity that is putting us down. So my question to you guys is, who is going to show up? Who is ready to change their lives, to be able to accept the helping hand, to follow the steps and actually implement it, to show up every single day live? Comment below and say, I will be there live all 7 days. Because again, I know from having run this many times before, every challenge is different. Every challenge, the people who stay until the end, their lives are changed. The people who take themselves out of the game and join the next one are like, oh man, I should have stayed until the end the last time. Then we've gotten my results faster. By the way, if that is you, or if you know what I'm talking about, comment below and say, yep, that's true. Holding up my hand, that's true. And so what I want to share in conclusion of the day's training is that once we now understand that a lot of these concepts that we're constantly being bombarded with are actually not true. Concepts of failure, concepts of wealth only being for a small group of people, the idea that there's just not enough money to go around. None of that is true. And now that you know none of that is true, and you also understand that it does take your commitment, and you are now ready to commit, I want to give you a task, a homework assignment. And what I want to ask you, and this is going to be something out of the blue, just boom. What is your intuition? What is your thought? What is your heart calling? I want everyone who's watched on this training, whether it's live or on replay, to go live into the Smile group right now and to give a very quick live where you talk about what your dream life looks like and how you're committing to show up for yourself. And you can share aha moments as well if you want. But make that public appearance, sharing and declaring to yourself, each other, the universe, that what you feel inside matters to you and that you're ready. You're ready to go and allow that to come to you as you are going towards it. Let's do this. There, I see you comment about an invisible ceiling. There is no such thing, right? That's the silly part. We are the invisible ceiling. Only us. But we are a product of what we see and consume. So can you blame yourself? In principle, not. But it becomes your duty to become more aware. Like yesterday, maybe you couldn't blame yourself so much. But today, now that you hear this, now it's your responsibility. So what do you do now from this moment onwards? And that is why I'm so excited to see you guys on this challenge, which is going to be on yet another level. And I know this because I think FLC students can share this as well. Even the FLC program has grown tremendously in terms of impact and in terms of strategy and in terms of things, all just because I grow as a person as well. And I learn new things from billion-dollar people. And so I want to pass that on to you guys. And I want you guys truly to just take this. This is free of charge. Be there live. Commit to yourself. Be there all the days, only 7 days, only 1.5 hours. Do the homework and watch your life change in these 7 days. Now, on that note, for those of you who are just tuning in, hello, welcome. You kind of missed the show, but watch the replay. For those of you who are ready to go now, I want you guys to go live. No lippy lippy, no trimmy trimmy. Comment below and say, I'm gonna go live and share. Just boom. Don't think about it. Just go live, share. What is this vision that you have of your life? What means something to you? How do you want to live? Declare it and say, hey, I'm ready to go and create that. And feel free to share some aha moments as well. And on that note, I'm going to go, and I cannot wait to see you guys in 26 days. So if you haven't yet registered, register for free right now, freedomlifestylechallenge.com. Click on the link, register, and I see you there. But I also see you many other days because we're going to have some free trainings as well. So love you all. Go live right now. No lippy lippy, no trimmy trimmy. Mwah.